Hello, everyone. We're so happy to be here. I'm Ari, and I'm here with Arlet, Kass, and joining Zoom in Spanish and in Italian. We're translating this in Spanish and in Italian, and we're here to talk about, to tell you about, to connect, to ignite, and to shine. We're here to share with you, to share with Kass, to have Kass share with you what we have been creating for a couple weeks, which is this incredible program of Connect, Shine, Ignite, and Shine. So Kass, would you welcome, please? Welcome.
Thank you. Gracias. Grazie. Merci.
And thank you for creating this with us. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself for people that don't know you? Or would you like me to introduce you?
Yes and yes. Yes and yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was born and I'm living and I'm creating and I'm receiving and I'm really happy to be here on the planet at this time and to receive all the gifts of my awarenesses and of other people's awarenesses, and to share that with the world. That's what I can say in these 10 seconds.
I get that. Even though we're not together, we are together with all these people because you're in Rome. Me and Arlette are in Barcelona. There's people from all over the world with us. And when you said I'm alive, I'm here on this planet, it was like, yeah, I feel alive also. And I would like to introduce you to all the people that don't know you, maybe, or the people that know you, but I just like to introduce you the way I know you, the way I feel
to hear this. I always love to hear this, because people, it's so easy for people to see what's unique and different about us. And what we're inviting people to in this, a magical creation with you and Arlette, just gorgeous, is to recognize and see themselves too, right? So that's about the connecting. So please be willing to hear people share what they see and recognize about you and receive it. I'm going into receive mode.
Well, I met Kass about a year and a half ago, although I saw her for the first time in my first foundation about 3.5 years ago in Paris, I think it was. And I remember I saw this incredible woman that like walked into a room and just like illuminated everything and just like took over with the energy. And I remember, wow, who is that? And when we worked for the first time in March of last year with the body class here in Barcelona, it was like we saw each other and we like reconnected. and we've been working together since then, and we've been and Kass is an incredible, powerful, generous woman. She is a public speaker. She does trainings all over the world. She is a renowned author of 2 books, of 7 Steps to Flawless Communication and Dancing with the Riches. She is an innate singer, and she is an Access certified facilitator and has been in Access for over 15 years. She is one of the first people that has brought Access to Europe 15 years ago, and it is incredible just to work with her. She's gone from translator to bringing the first Access events to Europe to taking care and managing the team of translators. She takes care of written translations in Access of manuals and books and everything. But for me, Kass is the greatest gift when you are talking about communication, when you're talking about bodies, when you're talking about engaging, and when you see how she connects, how she sees what she was telling right now, you know, how she sees the gifts that everyone she comes in contact with are and is, and those talents and abilities just like come up and like come out, and she makes you recognize them and allows you to be exactly what you want to be every moment that you are with her. And I totally adore working with her. I totally adore 7 Steps to Flawless Communication and everything that she teaches and she empowers and she gets out of people. She allows people to recognize themselves. So, Kass, thank you for creating this with Arlette and myself. And thank you for being the gift you are to the world.
Thank you for that. Wow. I love listening to that because it actually, every time someone communicates something like you just did, right? You can see it from different perspectives, and it always stimulates ideas and awarenesses for me. It's like you were saying, when I talk about bodies, when I talk about communication, I get, and this is what I just got listening to you, that I don't actually talk about communication and bodies. I talk with communication. And thank you for that awareness, because communication is a living life source, you know? So a lot of times we talk about something, and even ourselves, as if it were a third person or a separate entity, right? But recognizing how we're connected with everything, we're connected with communication, you know, and it's not a stable object, you know. It is a living, breathing, and continuously transforming energy communication. I mean, I could spend 2 hours telling you just today what I got out of about communication, you know? So it's a continuity. It really is. So thank you for that. And how much, if we didn't feel like we had to define ourselves, we didn't feel like we had to understand how to do things, would we actually be developing and discovering something new about ourselves every day, every moment? You know, so this creation with you and Arlette, and you too. Mwah, 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 mwah. That's my communication to you. Did you get it? The way that we're generated this, I really I'm thrilled about it. And not only are we generating it, and did we generate some things, but I would love to listen to it.
Absolutely.
And participate it and receive from it, because I'm sure when we are connected to ourselves, and that's the first phase, and to our bodies and to our beings and to the earth and to the atmosphere and to whatever we are living and experiencing in that moment, when we're connected with that, then what we're able to generate, what gets generated, and what we're able to create in our lives, even in our dinner. You know, it's not like, oh, it's only about the clouds and the universe and the moon and the stars. Yes, that too. And how do we transform that into practical, everyday living experiences that bring us joy, that allow us to see the joy that we are, and allow us to enjoy being here in this moment, on this planet, in our bodies, in our homes, in our families, in our relationships. And the more we do that connection, the more we do that engaging, the more we actually, let's say, attract things that actually bring us more joy. and we recognize those things. And so, you know, this connecting is and engaging is a two-way street. It's receiving, it's acknowledging, it's then sharing again, right, in a conversation, and receiving more feedback. And it's really expanding what we know about who we are, because we already are this expanded space. That's who we are. We're not always functioning from that. So our invitation in this series, Connect, Ignite, and Shine, is all about you. Is all about us. Is all about what gift can we be for you to actually enjoy polishing off your jewels, polishing off the dust, or the boredom, or the stagnation, or the reduction, polishing that off and allowing you to connect with the vibrant energy that you are. You know, and a lot of times, you know, we choose not to do that because it may be too much for people. How much are we often, you know, viewed as being too much of something or not enough of something? But what are the gems and jewels in that recognition? You know, we're viewed as being that, and we may take it as a judgment. We may take it as a criticism. We may take it as something we have to fix. But what if it's something we have to celebrate? What if it's something that we actually have to acknowledge and play with, you know? And we can adjust it to what actually gives us more connection with ourselves. I hope that makes sense, you know? And this, I love this. For example, this would be a completely different conversation without that introduction from Mary. You know, if you've ever heard me before, it might be a completely different conversation. So I would love to continue that in my life, always. And I believe I will, since I always have, and invite other people to play with that and see what it creates. And thank you for the people who have given me feedback on that. It's, if you can see it, that means you already be it. You know, if you can perceive it, that means you actually recognize in some way, shape, or form that you actually are that already. So this this program that we've come up with is really based on what Arlette and Ari at Ended have recognized that I'm capable, able to do, and what I do consciously with ease. Yeah. So we would love to invite you to that. And connecting for me, you know, a lot of times is the first thing, you know, the first step. A lot of times we're trying to follow an idol or a role model, or trying to be something because we've decided that that's, you know, what works in this reality. You know what? The truth is that you are here. We are all here on this planet. So we are a part of what the energy, the space, the consciousness, right, of this planet is. And will we choose it to be it? And it's easy to say, isn't it? It's easy to say, oh, you just have to be you. Yeah. How do you go about doing that? So what we have created are some videos that just now, we just created them. They're not like old videos that we're sharing with you. It's based on this energy. How can we invite people to connect with who they are, to actually ignite their magic, their capacities, turn them on, turn them up, right? and then allow them to shine and share them with the world. So we've given a lot of nice exercises and play and challenges and, you know, recognitions, things for you to recognize so that you can choose lots of different options. Like, there's not one answer, lots of different options to connect with you so that you can recognize what your talents are that you may not have recognized. Like receiving feedback and recognizing, wow, okay, I could look at this in a different way. Wow, okay, I could connect in a different way. Wow, okay, what shows up when I'm actually present?
Yes, we have a question from Maria in the Spanish group.
Hola, Maria.
She says, I'm graduating from public relations and institutional relations, and there's moments where communication is very difficult. There's other moments where it's very joyful, and I've started to use access tools of transliteration and 7 steps. How can I play with both energies, with all these energies?
Yeah, you know, it's a great question. It's a great question. And what if the moments you're recognizing as difficult are actually information moments? And if you're willing to receive them and see what that all interactions give us, right, is information, you know? So from what different angles can you see a quote unquote difficult moment, right? That allows you to recognize some different possibilities. You know, I'll share with you something. I want to sing a song. I know that Tomas is translating, so he's great at singing the songs that I sing. But one of the things about me is, I'll just say the words to the song, that I fall in love really easily. I fall in love very fast. And I have love for people, you know, but I don't need to possess it, because sometimes we want things to be packaged. You know, so you were saying that some of your interactions are joyful and fun, and that's an energy, but we can't stop the energy. You know, I did that first time I received the access bars. I didn't really feel anything. The second time, I didn't really feel anything. The third time, I got this space and I was trying to stop it. Like, don't change it. Like, I want to hold on to that space because it feels so good. I don't want it to move and change. That's not life. That's death. Okay? So everywhere we are trying to stop the transformational energies that may not always feel the same. Please, this is an access clearing statement. Can we destroy and uncreate all that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 short boys and beyonds. When something is showing up that is not flowing with ease, there's some tools to change that. There's some tools that can allow you to open up those flows of energy and change them. Isn't that cool? But first you have to be willing to recognize it. And you know, nothing shows up for you that you cannot handle. The universe has so many people, you know, there's over 7 billion on the planet, on this planet. And who knows how many there are, you know, on the other planets, right? So there's the gifts that present themselves to you are the ones that you have the magic to change and to play with and to receive. So if a situation shows up for you that is not necessarily easy, it's an invitation for you to engage with your capacities to change it. Isn't that amazing? So if you just stop for a moment and say, this is interesting. What is the energy I can be to shift this? Is an action required? What actually is being called upon for me to do or be to shift this and change this? Okay? When the energy, like you were saying, when the conversation, the interaction is going great, please also recognize, wow, I've been being so connected with my capacities and engaging with them that this is what's shown up, okay? And please recognize that if you don't have to engage with people or with your capacities, you will be bored. You know, having the perfect situation all the time, you know, is what made, you know, Adam take a bite of the apple to see what else was possible, you know, perfect paradise. Yeah, but what if something were different than perfect paradise? You know, so please recognize moments that aren't easy in communication as a challenge for you to step up and to ignite your capacities to change and transform any situation into something different. Okay, and when you're connected with you, what you are igniting is something that is harmonious, is vibrationally compatible, is in line with what you desire. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
I responded to the question.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and thank you for the question. Much. Thank you for the question. It's not like I've said that 150,000 times. The questions you ask actually are what inspire the awareness in other people. So please, Maria, recognize that you have that talent.
And I love it when you say talents and ignite, and because this brings us to the second step, which is ignite. And for me, ignite, it like totally turns me on because it's connected to everything you created with Dancing with Riches. It's connected to the way and the easy steps that you have to for people and for me and to really connect to those things that are we had never considered abilities or talents, and that when you look at them from another perspective, completely just show up in a completely different way and shine and just like complete and are a contribution to everything you do. And I think that when we were recording the second step, which is ignite, it was like, yes, it's like, it's so simple. And sometimes we try to make things so complicated, and for me, it's like the essence of the simplicity of recognizing your talents and abilities is so powerful. So tell us a little bit about the second step, which is ignite.
Yeah, and you know, exactly what you're saying is, why do we put steps in order, right? Well, to get to from one floor, your foundation, right, your base, to the next floor, you actually have to go up some steps. But after a while, right, and we'll talk about that later, you actually start to fly, you start to hop, you start to create bridges. So this igniting your talents, what we say, what we mean by ignite is, once you've recognized them, you actually begin to play with them in different ways. A lot of us have been living a life with certain responsibilities, with certain obligations, with certain jobs, family positions, and really, actually, some of us carrying those out quite well. But often we don't look at some of the things that we're capable of doing as a talent, because they're so easy to us, that they come so natural to us, that we apply them in such regular ways that we only are looking at them from one direction for one objective, for one result, right? But what if some of the things that you do every day, some of the interactions that you have every day, have a million different resources in them? Would you be able to see them? You know, would you be able to acknowledge actually how they are a contribution to other people? Would you be able to recognize that you have a unique way of approaching everything? You know, even if you're doing the same activity as 100 other people in a company, or 1,000,000 parents around the world, or children, you know, around the world. What's your unique way of doing it? And so once you're connected with you, igniting your talents is about recognizing how you can put your little pinch of salt, or your one comment, or your interaction with someone, or your kindness, or your approach to work for you. Now, specifically speaking, for example, if, I don't know if there's another question, but Maria was asking about, there's another question, okay, let's get to that. But Maria was asking about public relations, you know, and the way each and every one of us interacts with people is quite different. That's what makes the difference between having lots of friends, having not so many friends, having lots of acquaintances, looking different things up on the internet, reading different books. That's what makes our approach different. Igniting your talents and abilities, and this section of the program is about having you look at those talents, those abilities, those capacities, those natural skills, those easy things that you do from a different perspective. You know, Erin Ditter was talking, introduced me. I've lived in different countries. I've lived in the United States for many years. I lived in Paris, in France. I've lived in Italy, and travel around the world a couple of times a year. And so have many different perspectives. But the way I see it is quite different than the way you see it. And so inviting you to recognize how you see people in a different way, and what invitation you can be to them, right? To see themselves in a different way. And so this igniting is really about turning up, stepping up, and being really the magic of you. And it's quite easy once you're willing. Yeah.
It's incredible that you finished the sentence like this, because Mari Carmen Menendez, the question that has been there for a couple minutes is, I love the word magic. How can I ignite or turn on the magic that I am and trust myself? It would be a miracle for me. And then she continues, I feel really good when I take your classes, but I don't get to maintain that energy in my life on a day-to-day basis.
You know, I would love to just address this, and thank you for saying this, because a lot of times we get confident in ourselves, and this connect part is about really igniting your self-esteem, you know, so that you know that you may not be perfectly me. You may not be perfectly Arlette, but you are perfectly you. There's nobody in the world that does you better than you. And once you get that, right, then you're like, okay, so I can actually turn up a bit the way I'm being myself, right? But sometimes what we do is we turn that up, we get moving, we get on the dance floor, we start dancing with the riches in our lives, right? We're igniting it, we're ignited, but we forget to put another song on, or we forget to feed the music. And the music, the rhythm is you, right? So please be committed to you and do not allow the wick of your candle to burn out ever. You have to be willing to continually nurture that fire. And that's why we called it Ignite, you telepathic gal. We called it Ignite because that's like lighting the fire, but keeping the fire burning, baby, okay? So, you know, if you've ever done a barbecue and you put wood on the fire or charcoal, you have to continually nurture you, okay? So a lot of times we go out on a limb and we're willing to ignite and engage. Remember and know what it is that you require to have a continuity of nurturing for you. And that's, we play with that a lot.
Wow, it's incredible, guys, because it is when we were taking out also the exercises for each of the steps, because in each of the steps you have uh, three pre-recorded classes, they will be able to have 24 hours to go see the class, do the exercises, listen to the
They're
class
great.
again.
They're great. We had so much fun with them.
We
They're
did
really
have a lot
great.
of fun.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah.
you, but
No,
they're great.
but it's incredible what you were saying right now, that it's like keeping that fire going, keeping
You have to.
those charcoals red and shining, and so the meat can nicely cook, you know. And so it's really about that, you know, because what we love about this program is that you have like practical, pragmatic tools to be able to go over and over and over, and to keep that fire, that heat, that
Sometimes
fire in you burning, no?
Yeah, sometimes you might have a book. I used to have books where you open up a page and read it, and and we will have some written material for you. No, just when you're connected with you, and that's why we use this in the first step. You acknowledge and you recognize when you are getting distant from you. Okay, when things are not falling into place, where things are not appearing, take a breath in, look at one of the pages, listen to something, you know, eat a piece of, you know, fruit that you love, nurture you. There is nothing more important than nurturing you, you know, and it is not an egotistical move, because if you are trying to give someone water from a glass that is half full, that glass gets empty. Instead of filling that glass up, allowing it to overflow, so that what you are sharing with the world, and we talk about this in the shine, is always refreshed and you're always nurtured. And we use the tools of access to also give you specific tools so that you are continuously nurturing you. So I totally get the question. And sometimes we exhaust ourselves because we, you know, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, says in each molecule, in each cell, actually, we have enough energy to have a city the size of New York running for a month, right? But what if we get to the 29th day of that month? Have you been nurturing that cell, those molecules in the cell, so that you can run also the next month? So I totally get what you're saying, and believe me, we all have been there. It's not, I know you might think it's just you. We've all been there. That we're excited, we're moving, we're all ignited, and we're on fire, and then one day it might not feel that way. Know what it takes to keep that fire going. And when you're connected with you and you know about igniting your capacities, it is a continuity of engagement with your talents. It really is. I hope that makes sense to you.
So yes, Digna is saying, so if we've ignited it, how do we maintain it? And that takes me to how do we continue shining? How do we start shining? How do we shine and shine and shine?
Right. Well, you know, maintaining something is also about recognizing that you're not alone. You never have been, and you never will be. So there are so many resources on this planet, in the world, in your life, that can nurture you so that you can keep your fire, your brilliance shining, right? And that is one of the, when we're talking about shining, we're talking about you reflecting the beauty that you have within, the talents that you have within, outside of you, so that it's not maintained and kept inside and all, because once you maintain it and keep it inside, what you're doing is actually smothering it. So, truth, would you be willing to feed the fires? Now, I could go into a song here, but I'm not going to do it at the moment.
Please
feed
do.
The fires. Feed the fire, feed you. You've got to feed your fires. Okay, and that's what allowing your beauty to shine is, allowing your talents to shine is about. Because when you open up and allow yourself to be seen and visible, what shows up is amazing. I'm getting tears in my eyes. What you are doing is you are allowing yourself to be seen, and you are reflecting your inner genius, your inner beauty out into the world. And the universe reflects that back in a huge way. So there is a continuity of brilliance. You know, this is not just words. This is actually what happens on the planet. You know, the reflection of different things allows the bees to be alive, allows the flowers to grow, allows the trees to grow, allows the seasons to go. So can you imagine if a tree were locked into a closed box and not being seen by the sun? Or a flower? Would it grow? Would it shine? Would it make you smile as you walk by it? So that shining is about stepping out and being willing to share your brilliance with the world. And it never, as Dr. Dane here says, the co-creator of Access Consciousness, it never shows up the way you think it's going to. You know, when we have this one focus, there's so much on the left and the right that we actually don't see. And the universe is gifting us this existence on this planet, and is gifting us the people, and is gifting us the geographical locations, and is gifting us the ways in which to express our talents, whether it be in work, whether it be in fatherhood, whether it be in motherhood, whether it be being a lover, whether it be cleaning a house. You know, I had this guy who was, I met him because he was playing music. He was a guitar player, you know, and he had to go to work in the morning. And I said, "What is your job?" And he said, "Well, I clean the floors and the windows in a company." And he said, "And I love my job because the way I make those windows shine and the way I make those floors shine, nobody does it like I do it. And that's why I keep this job, because the president of the company has the best meetings in the world in the offices that I clean because they shine and reflect the brilliance." So what is it? What is your talent? What is your capacity? That if you're willing to contribute it to the energy, to the light in this world, it will also reflect back to you and allow your brilliance and your magic to shine even more.
Yes, Marcela is saying, this is really about receiving myself. It's like cleaning what I have thought that I am, and really I'm not.
It's about receiving yourself, and it's about receiving you. Sometimes in Italian we say me stesso. In English we say myself. In Spanish we probably say me mismo, no?
Yo mismo.
Yo mismo. But it's a yes, yourself, but also you, which is a lot bigger than just yourself. Because yourself is an individual, right? It's a personality, it's a character, right? But you are actually something that's united with the energy and the space and the consciousness of everyone and everything, right? So yes, it's about, that's our trick. It's about receiving yourself. Sure. Once you start receiving yourself, you actually get a glimpse of you that goes beyond the image, beyond the personality, beyond what you think you are, and connects to what you truly are, which is a unique and vital vibration in this world. You didn't show up here by chance. You show up here by choice, whether you've recognized it or not. And so it's like when we see a play or a movie. Can you imagine if there's an actor in the play or the movie who's like, "Oh no, there's a lot of good actors. I don't need to say my part. I don't need to do my role." You watch the movie and you're like, it was good, but there was a little something missing. That's what the planet knows. And so you get a continuity of nurturing and support when you're willing to be seen, when you're willing to shine. And when you shine, the reflection of that shine is multiplied by a godzillion. And you don't have to choose it all. But isn't it lovely? I always say it's like a buffet table. Even if you only want a glass of water, it's so lovely to see a buffet table full of possibilities. It makes that water taste even better.
Wow, Kass, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what I have seen through the last week that we were recording the classes, and we'll explain now a little bit how the program works. It's that sometimes we complicate things so much to make sure that we deserve them, because we have to work hard to deserve them. We have to, you know, sweat a little, and we have to, and so when really, like when I've gone through the recordings and I've connected with myself, I like recognize my talents and abilities, and I do recognize a lot of them, but during these days I've recognized more that I didn't tag as abilities. And I've been looking these past few days how I'm allowing myself to shine in a different way, because the light is not always the same, you know. The light at dawn is not the same as noon, and the light at noon is not the same as sunset. So it's really interesting to see in what moment I am, and it doesn't mean that I don't get frustrated, or because I even during these past days I've been like really mad at certain things, you know. But how am I shining also in those moments when I'm mad?
And also, what is the awareness beyond the mad? You know, absolutely, you know, in Access Consciousness, we talk about living in 10-second increments, which is an amazing tool, and we talk about that in some of the videos. And so definitely, you know, enjoy being mad, you know, because it's a little bit different from, you know, being happy. But there's an intensity to it. There's a strength to it that every time you get mad, and just like Maria was saying, when things aren't going well in the public relations, you're actually getting ready to break through a new ground, you know? And so be present with being mad, you know, be present with it, so that when you break through that ground, all the jewels, all the gems that are beyond that are going to appear before you, you know? And believe me, nothing is by chance. Nothing is a coincidence. You know, nothing is shows up for you, that cannot be a contribution. And don't worry if you don't receive the contribution, because it'll show up in different ways, you know, with different names, with different jobs, with different people. It'll show up in different ways. So please don't go into the wrongness of you if you just want to be mad and stop, okay? But please know that it is always a gift. And if you're willing to receive it, it will open up a world of possibilities. Yeah. And so what is it? Don't resist being mad, because that stops the growth. You know, if you've ever had children, or if you've ever had younger brothers and sisters, when they're growing, sometimes they're growing tall really fast. And though it's not always easy, because the bones and the arms, they're growing at a different rate than is easy for their body. But you wouldn't want to say to them, oh, no, stop growing. I don't want you to, you know, have dis-ease in your body, uncomfortability in your body, stop growing. No, they're growing. So are you willing to go through some growing pains that you may identify as mad, or uncomfortable, or not happy? Are you willing to go through those growing pains so that you can actually stand up, be taller, be more visible, right? And have a more rich area of joy, yeah, and godimento, enjoyment, right? Yeah.
I don't know if we've answered your question. Itzel puts on the chat, the English chat. I've already chosen my first access class. I think it is possible that I'm really happy with the choice, but there are moments when I'm going into my mind. Any advice? I think it's because about what Ari said, that the idea of working hard and proving that I deserve it.
Well, if it's the Access Foundation class, then how much are you already in the class, and how much do you know that you're about to transform your life in a way that you never thought was possible? It's an amazing 4-day class.
I don't know, Itzel, if you want to answer on the chat or if you want to open your mic.
If you want to open your mic, you might have to be stepping up and like shining. 'Cause I'm happy come along if you feel like a one
Is Itzel around, Arlet? No? Okay.
I just
So maybe.
mute, but
Hi, Arlette.
Okay, so Itzel will wait for your comment. Kass, do you want me or do you want to tell them what these 13 incredible days are about?
Let's do it together.
Okay.
Yes, we love the number 13. Well, the first 4 days are about connecting, you know, and sometimes we do trainings and things like that, and we get a lot of great tools, right? But the practical application of them, we actually don't have time to do, right? I don't know about you guys, but I remember my first, COP class in Access with Gary Douglas. I wrote down every single thing, writing, right? And then I was in Florida, and then I came back to Rome, and I was already so busy, and I never looked back at my writing. So the way that really Arlette and Ari and I came up with this was to actually give you some time to integrate these tools and the step in 3 days before we meet again online live, and discuss them and respond to any questions and get some feedback on some of the things that you've done in the first 3 days. So on the 17th, we send you a video, and we hope you watch it in the 24 hours. On the 18th, another video, one after another, and they're sequential, one after another. And on the 19th, another video with some questions and some challenges in them too. And then on the 20th, we get together and we see how that went for you and how we can connect that for you and connect you to you. And then the next 4 days are the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of August. And so we send you one video per day that we did, and they're in a row, so one after another, about igniting, and some requests for you to produce some stuff for us that we can play with together. And then on the 24th, that we play together with this. It's really quite pragmatic and practical. And then on the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th is the shine period. So sometimes it's a small light, sometimes you're turning that light up, sometimes you're turning it really up, and then stepping out. On the 28th, we'll be doing a third Zoom together and giving you a few days afterwards, the 29th and the 30th, to integrate that. And on the 31st of the month, at the end of the month, having a Zoom together to see what has changed and how that shows up in your life and what else is possible. So it's really a great program. Compliments for it. And I hope you can join. And if you're not able to be there live, you absolutely have access to the materials. And we will, a couple of weeks after that, meet up again and see how you're doing, what you're doing, and what's showing up. And it always has a positive effect. It's a little bit like when I when I first ran into the tools of access. They were like, you know, say the mantra of access 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening. And, you know, you can run your bars, your money bar, you know, for 6 months and your financial situation would change. And I was like a really good student. I was like, I'm going to do this. And if it does work, I will know because I will do it, right? And I'm going to look at it 6 months later and see if it works. And I totally forgot to look at it 6 months later. Hello, because life had taken off in such a different way. So that is the invitation we'd like to be for you. And this is the time. Why are we doing this now? We looked at with Arlette and Ari, we really looked at the energy of when would be the biggest contribution to do that. And we get that now. Yeah, well, a lot of people are having, you know, going into the fall or going into the spring. And so it's a transitional period, a transformational period. And so are you willing, hello, to ride the wave of transformation instead of trying to get the wave and the water moving on your own? It's a period of transformation. So you're willing to utilize already that the tracks that are changing, yes, and to utilize the movement and to engage with the movement so that you can have some assistance with that in a way that will be very different than you've ever imagined.
Yes, and also, I don't have to explain anything because Kass has already done it so wonderfully. But just to let you know that the material is left there on Hotmart, which is the platform we work with, indefinitely. So there's some material that you're going to be able to download. The videos that you have, you will be able to download the audios and the PDFs of the exercises in each one of the steps. And also, you will be able to download the classes so you can listen to them when you're not even connected to internet. So this is going to be great to be able to use it. And then what happens a lot of times after you do it, you start using it and you start shining, and then kind of the light goes off and you go into other things and your attention is put on other places, and then you remember or what happens to me a lot of times, and it's happened to me today several times. I like got in the car and all of a sudden like this class starts playing, you know, and I'm like, what? And I'm gonna turn it off and put the radio on. And I said, no, I think I need to listen to this class. Wait, you know, and so it just comes on and you start listening again and you connect again with yourself and you recognize those talents and you turn on that light a little or you turn it all the way up and you see that it's completely different from the first time you did it.
Oh, absolutely.
You're different.
You're different. Yeah, and being willing to recognize that, right? Being willing to recognize that, wow, did they say this before? I didn't hear this before, right?
Yeah, definitely. And in the Spanish group, they're asking if there will be a chat. You can chat on Hotmart and ask questions, but we can create a WhatsApp group with the participants to where you can share your questions and comments.
Right, and I know I may be wrong, but I don't think so. I think they did organize some gifts too, right?
Yes, and we do have some gifts because Kass is such a gift herself that with the pack of the 13 days plus the follow-up call, you have a couple bonus. One is a guided meditation to connect with yourself, with the earth and the universe. And the other one is 5 calls called Treasure Island, which talk about introduction to your treasure chest, creativity, time, patience, action versus reaction, and relationship, and how you relate with others and with everything without judgment.
And the other
so you have these.
We have another one.
Which other one? Remind me.
Following call.
The follow-up call that Kass said, 2-3 weeks after we finish the program on the 31st, we will do another live Zoom to be able to share with each other and recognize in ourselves by sharing what have we chosen and how have we shined and how have we connected and what we haven't, and how we recognize and what we haven't recognized, and what can others recognize in us.
Yeah, cool. It'll be great. It's great. But I think it's really expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think all of you will be able to purchase it because since we want to give a good product, but make it like exclusive, it's only 49 euros. Yes, only 49 euros.
Is it 49 euros, $49? I don't remember what it is, but it's very funny.
It's 49 euros. It's like
amazing.
But yeah, so we start Monday the 17th. So if you want to come play until Monday the 17th, it will be 49 euros. If you buy it after Monday the 17th, you can buy it until the 31st of August, and it will be 69 euros.
Which is a very sexy number.
So it's still a really sexy number. Okay, so Kass, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for hopping on.
Anything. And also, it's like, what are you waiting for? What have you been waiting for? And is life over? Or is it time to begin living life in a really different way? I mean, everyone recognizes that the timing now is quite different. And it's like the birth of a new nation called your life. Is it time really to nurture your genius and to cuddle your body and to shine your brilliance and to receive the shining brilliance of others? I think it's really the time now. Let's go. Let's play. Let's dance. Let's be the gift and receive it beyond. Yeah. Together. I'm really grateful. Can I just say thank you, Miss Aled. Thank you, Miss Eri. Thank you for loving me and receiving my love. Yeah. And thank you so much, Julia. Grazie. Tomas, gracias. And thank you all for showing up and listening. How cool is that? Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Kass.
Yes. Gracias, grazie, and thank you.